and the 27 is there, but he's in so hot he can't get a turn. Gets on the brakes, and he slides up into him. Mark hangs the right, goes through the tires, and there's Casey, who's been spun. You know what? When you're Casey Kane and you were the first guy spun, a lot of times it works to your advantage. Because the more people they spin in front of you, the more positions you pick up.
Yeah, points are going to be a big topic when this race is over, because Kurt Busch could get his first win to make him eligible for the wild card. Then you got Brad Keselowski, who's running a great race. In the 9th position right now, could jump into the top 20, be eligible for the wild card. I mean, Tony Stewart dropping down today with his issues. Denny Hamlin, Dale Jr. having problems.
I think Stewart or Montoya may have finally run off the tires on this thing.
Let's hear from Smoke, Marty.
At times, the top 5 car today was at anything other than flat payback.
No, I mean, I probably had it coming because I dumped him earlier, but I dumped him because he was blocking. So if anybody wants to block all year, that's what I'm going to keep doing. So they can handle it however they want. But it was payback. But you know, I dumped him first, and I dumped him because he was blocking. So it's just, I've been complaining about the way that guy's been racing all year, and I like Brian. I'm not holding it against him at all. I don't care if it was Ryan Newman. I would have dumped him too. So if they want to block, that's what's going to happen to them every time for the rest of my career.
You and I were talking about this last week. Is the lack of respect more prevalent than ever?
I don't know if it's lack of respect or guys just pushing the envelope on not working with each other. So there wasn't any reason at the point of the race where he started blocking in the first place. So you know, it didn't make sense to do it, and I'm not going to tolerate it. I don't race guys that way, and I'm not going to let anybody race me that way. So if they block, they get dumped. Plain and simple.
Day ends early for Tony Stewart, and he had a top 5 car, Adam.
24 road course starts, never a DNF until today for Tony Stewart.
And I think the 42, like I said, is finally off his tires. But, you know, and hey, I mean, Stewart knew it was coming. I mean, he's not trying to hide the fact that, you know, he figured it was coming. But, you know, it is, you see a lot of blocking going down in the turn 11, because that's the only couple of spots you got to pass here. So people do take advantage of that.
It's so frustrating to run a minute and 20-second lap and only have one place to pass somebody.
And when you get there, somebody blocks.
Somebody blocks, and you got to wait again. Minute and 20 seconds, and you got to wait again, and it's so incredibly frustrating. But you know what? You got to give Tony credit. He was incredibly candid. Yeah, I dumped him. And yeah, I know he dumped me. And I don't have anything against him. That's just the way it is. I had it coming. And that's the kind of, let me say this, that's the kind of boys have at it that there used to be.
But here, another thing I think in Tony's deal is he's just sending out a message right now.
Yeah.
That, you know, everybody, hey, listen, if you're going to block me, you're going to get wrecked.
And the Ryan Newman reference significant because Tony owns that race car. Here's a good battle for second. Kurt Busch has opened up a huge lead, and he will see the white flag the next time around, but the runner-up spot may not be decided until we come right to the finish. Gordon looking to the inside of Edwards to go to second.
I tell you, for Carl, I don't think, I mean, would have never dreamed he'd be in the top 3 after looking at the practice.
No, and watching that pass, I don't think he would have dreamed he would be in the top 3 either. He just pulled to the outside. He gave Jeff plenty of room. I would have never believed when they dropped the green flag on this race that these two guys would be in the top 3.
Yeah.
These two that we're watching right here. After listening to Jeff
15 laps
Gordon,
ago, like I said, looking back at the monitor, Jeff Gordon was way back in the field.
Yeah, and complaining the whole time about not being able to turn into the corner. And as you said a minute ago, he was one of the fastest cars on the racetrack here towards the end.
And he's about a second faster than Kurt Busch is right now. He just doesn't have the time.
You know, I think this speaks volumes for this. We're on the final lap here. I think this speaks volumes for Carl too. He's focused on winning this championship. He had an opportunity to leave. He decided he would stay and work on this thing. Still didn't get it the way he wanted it, but he's driven it today.
I think he'll be real happy with this.
Yeah, the way a championship driver could drive a car. And he knows this is a big statement to the other guys. If I stick around and stay here, you're going to have to think about it.
Another name you may add to the list of those who are thinking championship, the driver who has been so consistent the last few weeks. Kurt Busch and the program really on the rise at Team Penske.
Incredible. So much was made out of Kurt Busch and things that went on early in the year, things that went on the radio, things that went on within that team. But you can say what you want to. He's passionate about driving a race car. He got those people up off their butt, and here he's getting ready to win.
Checkers this time.
3 poles in a row. Should have had 4.
Kurt Busch a winner at Infineon, first of 2011.
Incredible.
Carl Edwards, big jump today, all the way to 3rd.
Boyer in fourth, which I figured he would be a top 5, and Ambrose up there as well. And Logano.
Yeah, great run by
sixth,
Logano.
yeah.
Jimmy Truex salvages something, comes back for 8th there. I thought Truex had a great car. And Brad Keselowski finishes in the top 10. Great run for him.
Man, Harvick's car got beat up early, and he comes back to finish in the top 10 as well.
That's the Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Appreciate it.
Outside the top 20 at one point, the car was plowing sideways loose. Was this a statement kind of day with the way this team salvaged their day?
It certainly was. It was as much a statement to ourselves as anything else. Great effort by this DuPont Chevrolet team and Alan and everybody. It was a struggle. I got to tell you, we really missed the setup to begin this race. I don't know if just the adjustments we made were that good, or the track position plus the track changing at the end. It looked like a lot of guys were really, really struggling with grip there at the end, and our car was actually pretty good. We were fast, and I think we're faster than the leader. So that felt awesome to start there with old tires and be able to work through traffic all the way up to second. Man, that was amazing.
Impressive comeback for the 24. Chris?
Well, Juan Pablo Montoya came for tires late, and Juan, you gave up a lot of track position doing that, driving aggressive through contact with the 2 and the 4. Were the tires the right call?
Yeah, tires were the right call, you know what I mean? The 2 did the same. First of all, the 4 was the first car, Earlier on, I got beside him. He knocked me a couple of times, and, they just don't give me any room, so it's hard. And the 2, I got in his bumper, moved him a little bit, got beside him, passed him, and he just, plain simple, just wrecked us, It's hard when people don't know how to race in road course and they think they do, so it's okay. We had fun, had a good car. The Scotland on shape was amazing today, so it's nice to run good here.
Marty?
Casey Kane listening in on part of that. So he says it was your fault you didn't give him enough room. Your take on that accident with Juan Pablo?
Oh, I felt like we had a pretty decent Red Bull Toyota. Our tires were really old there, and I just kind of got slow there at the end, and Montoya just drove through me at the top of the hill. That was obvious. But, last year when his cars were really, really good and Jamie McMurray was the man, Juan still couldn't win a race. It shows about what he can do in NASCAR anyways.
So your take was you gave him plenty of room?
Absolutely. I got hit from behind. I just driving into the corner, and he got mad probably because I beat him into turn 1 when he was beside me off of 11. So he got mad and just wrecked me into 2. That's why he got mad. He didn't get mad because I didn't give him any room.
Top 5 run gone awry. Adam?
Yeah, he was running in the 4th position when he got turned around, Marty. Tough break for Casey Kane. No issues for Kurt Busch. He's a winner today, Ralph Shaheen.
Yeah, here he comes out of the car. The celebration begins. He's a road course winner. We'll get him to jump down off the car here, and we'll talk to him. He is pumped up. Yes, sir. Well, he's going to get some hugs and kisses here. All right, congratulations on that first road course victory. While everybody else was struggling, you had an incredibly dominant car. How did you do that?
It was an unbelievable setup. Once we got into the groove with this car, it seemed to get better after lap 5 or 6, and my cars have never done that before. So I'm real proud of this Dodge team and everybody from Shell and Pennzoil. If that doesn't inspire you to go get an SRT8 Dodge Charger, I don't know what is. So that was an awesome handling Dodge. So proud of these guys for really stepping up after what we've been through. And man, we've been on a high these last few weeks.
So many people didn't think you could do a 2-stop, race here. How'd you pull that off?
We just had to conserve our rear tires. That was the main setup, and that was the main thought. And once we had enough fuel mileage to make it, I started to pick up my pace. And I didn't want guys to think that they had a shot at us, and so I was able to stretch it out. But unbelievable day. The one thing that I've been pushing hard for all year is when we win with this Shell Pennzoil Dodge, 22 cents a gallon off for everybody that has the Shell Saver card on Wednesday. So you got to get a Shell Saver card by Wednesday and save 22 cents a gallon. That's awesome. So thanks to Dodge and Sprint, Coca-Cola, these guys have been great. AAA, Lennox, Discount Tire, Snap-on Tools, a whole group of guys that really help us out.
All right, you crossed up a road course victory today. Can you go get the points-paying plate race next week on Daytona live here on TNT?
Man, that's been big on my list over the years, and I really want to get one of those plate wins. Even though we had a good speed weeks in Daytona, I want to go there and get the big July 4th one. So thanks to the fans. This was an awesome ride today, and that backwards lap brought tears to me. I was choked up because that's something cool that's never been done.
All right, 3 poles, now a win on a road course. He is on a roll, Adam.
He is. He laid it on him today. Jeff Gordon with a great run. Carl Edwards, Clint Boyer, Marcus Ambrose in the top 5.
It's like I said, Logano good run for those guys today. I think they're going to be pretty happy with that, starting on the pole and finishing in the top 10.
Harvick's got to be ecstatic. They weren't even in the race. It didn't seem like, but just kept hammering and hammering, and they bust off another top 10. Kyle Busch gets spun, comes back, finishes 11th, and David carried that car on his back the last 8 or 10 laps.
29th to 12th.
Incredible.
A.J. Allmendinger, our leader on page 2, and Jamie McMurray. My gosh, this guy
I think that's got to be the
everything
most
today.
Disappointing, probably, out of the bunch. I mean, I certainly picked them to win this thing today, and those guys just didn't hit it.
But 15th's pretty good when you consider some of the adversities that he went through.
You know, they went through everything.
Ryan Newman, top 5 a lot of the day, finishes 25th. Saul Vickers ended up in the 36th position. Denny Hamlin just behind him. Now let's hear from Vickers, Marty.
Well, I have to ask him the same question I asked Tony Stewart. Was that anything other on your behalf than payback?
Oh, man, I'd love to lie to you, but it wasn't.
Don't lie to me, Brian.
No, I'm just not my personality. You know, I guess Tony told you that that he dumped me on purpose, and I know Tony well enough to know he's a smart enough driver that he didn't accidentally drive in there that hard and from like 20 back and wreck me. So, you know, I don't know why he did it. I think he told you he felt like I was.
Felt like you're blocking a little too much too early.
Yeah, you know, he may not have noticed, but the 18 was off the racetrack and was coming back across through the dirt sideways, and I was trying to avoid the 18, and I was on the inside of the car in front of me. So Tony was the least of my concern. I don't think it was an attempt to block Tony. But, you know, he that's what he felt like it was, and, you know, he sowed his oats and he reaped them. So
when you have done something like this, you say you intentionally wrecked him, he says he intentionally wrecked you. How do you handle it from here?
We'll be fine. You know, it's funny, I found it ironic that our relationship started in turn 11 in 2004.
What happened there?
He wrecked me and then I wrecked him back.
Well, so this is a repeat of history.
I think it is. Yeah, I guess, you know, just every once in a while stuff happens. You know, I'm not a scatologist, but it happens.
Is there a growing anger on the racetrack or a growing lack of respect, you feel like?
No. I have a lot of respect for Tony. Are you kidding me? I had a ball at his Prelude to the Dream. I mean, what a great charity event. You know, Tony and I, you know, it's funny. Tony and I race probably better than just about anyone on the racetrack on a week-to-week basis. You know, when I get to him, he lets me go. When he gets to me, I let him go. I'm sure we'll be right back to that this next week. We just had a couple of things to talk about on the racetrack today.
All right, so it sounds like these two intentionally wrecked each other, but it's in the past, and they're going to move forward, guys.
Yeah, and yeah, it's easy for us to look at it because we get to see it 100 times. You know, but I don't think Vickers was trying to block the 14.
I didn't think so either. Yeah, and that was Vickers sucked up pretty good right there, though.
Kyle, you've talked a lot about how the points changed this year. Some big movement today. Dale Earnhardt Jr. dropping 4 spots down to 7th. Johnson and Kurt Busch both making some gains today. You see Clint Boyer 8th. Not a lot of breathing room, back around 10th. Tony Stewart dropping down to the 12th position. And Denny Hamlin 11th via the wild card with that victory last week at Michigan. Let's hear from Carl Edwards.
Here to concentrate on this event. How would you describe your day?
We were lucky. Everything went our way today, and I got to thank Will Overton and Fastenal. Fastenal, like you said, we called the audible. I stayed here for practice. Our Ortho Home Defense Max car was fast. Got to thank Ford, Aflac, Valvoline, and Bob Osborne for his strategy. I mean, we really relied on every part of our team. We had great fuel mileage. We used Matt Kenseth's setup. Billy Johnson ran the Fastenal car, and it all came together for a 3rd place finish, which is great for our points.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.